friends, it's Cindy from Stamped with Aloha. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create a Boxy pop-up card. So let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be working with the Charming Day stamp set and dies. So we'll be using it as a bundle. And then all of the cards that I created using the Boxy pop-up technique are using the Floral Charm Designer Series paper. So as you can see, there's really beautiful paper in that collection. Now, the one thing you'll notice is that all three of these card samples are not using the floral images. Although these floral images are really beautiful and you can cut them out with the dies, if you did so, it would look like this. But then this would require coloring. And so today's project is especially for those of you who aren't a fan of coloring. You're going to be able to create some beautiful cards just using the dies that come in the stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out this card for you, and so let's get started with that right now. To create the Boxy pop-up card, you need a 4 1/4 by 10 1/2 piece of cardstock. This is Secret C. I'm going to begin by scoring it first at 5 1/2 inches. Then I'm going to move to 6 3/4 inches, 8 3/4 inches, and one more time at 10 inches. Okay, this will provide the base of our card. Then the front section that pops out, you need a smaller piece of cardstock. This piece of cardstock is 3 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And for this, we are going to score this at 3 3/4 and then again at 5. After your scoring is done, you're going to want to take a bone folder and you're going to want to just crease on all of those scored lines so that you'll make some nice crisp folds. So I'll do it both to the base and to the small front pop-up piece. Okay, then before we fold and glue that together, we're gonna get out our 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. We'll take the small one and put it to the side, and we'll begin with this piece here, which is 4 inches by 3 1/2 inches. We're gonna go ahead and glue this to the card base first before we create the bottom, because that's gonna be really tight in there if we tried to put it in after. So I'm gonna flip this over and take my multi-purpose glue, place it on the back, and we're gonna go ahead and stick that onto the base of the card, just like so. Okay, so now our Floral Charm Designer Series paper is down. We'll hold off on putting this one on just yet. And now is the trickiest part, but it's actually really easy. But it can be intimidating when you're making a fun fold card and you have all these score lines. So I'm gonna try to explain it as carefully as I can. All right, so you've got this 1/2 inch flap. So the 1/2 inch flap on both of these is where your adhesive is gonna go. So with your Designer Series paper facing up, if you would lay it down like that, you're gonna wanna bring up the bottom, and on the top here is where your adhesive is gonna go, okay? Then after I have my adhesive here, that adhesive, there's a score line right there, right? The 1/2 inch score line. We're gonna go to the next score line and we're gonna fold the card right there. So it's folded on that second score line. We put our adhesive on the 1/2 inch part, and then I'm just gonna place my finger here at the 5 1/2 or the first score line that we made, and I'm gonna flip it up and we're just gonna stick this down like that, okay? So it's really easy. It's just sometimes it can seem intimidating when you put your glue and then you're like, oh wait, how, fold it in half, wait, this doesn't seem to work. So again, put your adhesive on the 1/2 inch mark, fold it down on the second score line, and then flip it in and stick it down, okay? I'll go ahead and do that slowly. So put our adhesive, second score line, fold it down, and then we're just gonna press. Okay, and give it a second to dry, and once it's dry, you're gonna pop it up and you have your first box in our Boxy pop-up card. All right, this piece here is going to be what we need to apply our second piece of Designer Series paper. This piece is 1 3/4 by 4 inches. So go ahead and we'll take and place adhesive on the back, and we're gonna glue that down right there on the front of the card. All right, now it is time to apply the second box. So for this, what I'm gonna do, it's very similar to what we did in the first card. So we are gonna place our adhesive on the 1/2 inch part, and we are gonna score it on the second and only score line here, okay? But to place it on the card, we are going to take that adhesive and we are going to, it's going to get glued to about this, maybe about 1.5 inches down from the top here. But in order to measure it, it's so easy because we're just going to flatten out the card and we're going to flip this piece around and we're going to line it up, the edge of it up to the center of the card. And by doing so, that's going to get our adhesive exactly in that spot without us having to eyeball it, okay? And then once that's there like that, and that's glued down, we'll just lift this up, we'll add a little bit more adhesive and we'll stick that down and our second box will be done, okay? So again, I'll do that slowly. Place your adhesive on the 1/2 inch. We're gonna fold that flat. We're gonna fold our card flat. We're gonna flip that around, line it up with the top edge of the card and press it down. Give it a second to dry unless you're using tear and tape. And then once it's dry on there, we're just gonna lift it up and then we'll place a little bit of adhesive at the bottom here. And then we will fold this down and glue it to the bottom. Okay, and then that should open up like that. And then you have your second step. For the next step in our Boxy pop-up, we're gonna add an embossed piece of cardstock. So I've taken our brick 3D embossing folder and I've embossed one piece of basic white cardstock that's 2 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. Now actually this card is going to go in this direction, so I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna add my adhesive and glue that down. Now we're ready to add our sentiment. And for that, I've die cut a piece out of the stylish shape dies. On all 3 of the cards that I'm making for a set of cards I'm putting together, I've used one of these dies from the stylish shape dies. So it makes it easy when you're putting a project together and you can find dies that you can work with like this that all come from the same set. So for the stamping, I have my little banner and I'm gonna stamp with the words that say, "You made my day." I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that on the far right side of this little banner. Okay, so our stamping is done. Let's go ahead and add it to the front of the card. So I'm gonna place adhesive on the strip, and then I'm gonna go ahead and flatten the card, and I'm gonna stick this in the top right corner. I'm putting the sentiment down first because our flower images are gonna overlap it just slightly. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add our beautiful die cut pieces. We're gonna start placing this one down and creating a base for our flowers. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add little dots of my multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of this piece, and then I'm gonna stick it down. If you use an adhesive sheet, that would even work better and it would be a little bit more efficient. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this down. Okay, so now you can see where it overlapped the little banner just a tiny bit. Next, we're gonna take this piece here and I'm gonna simply take my scissors and I'm gonna cut off the 3 stems. You'll notice on this stem here though, there is a little tiny flower attached. You see that? So this has big flowers and small flowers. For our puzzling, we are gonna remove those little flowers as well as the 3 leaves. So there's the second set of leaves, and then we have one more flower here. Just gonna kind of cut around the petal, and then we have one more leaf right here. And that should be it. Okay, so now we just have these 3 focal point flowers. I'm gonna add some adhesive, and then we're gonna puzzle this onto the front of the card, layering it over that bottom piece. All right, so now our flowers are on there, and the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our embellishments. So for that, I will be using the Charming Shimmery Faceted Dots, and I'm gonna get my Take Your Pick tool, and for this one, we are going to use the dark Secret Sea gems that are here on the side. So I'm gonna pick up one of these right here, and I'm gonna place it next to the sentiment. Then I'm gonna pick up another large one here and place it in the corner, followed by a small one placed in the corner as well. And that completes our Boxy pop-up card. Let me go ahead and show you the other cards that are part of the set. So we have this second card here. Again, exact same dimensions, the exact same way that I set up the flowers, just a different sentiment piece and different embellishments. And I also changed the direction. So that's another thing you can do with these cards. You can easily change up the direction. So that was card number 1, card number 2, and then card number 3 of my set uses some different dies that I haven't shown you yet from the Charming Day dies. And this one I did the puzzling, but just with a single flower. This is another standalone flower and a standalone leaf. Again, all 3 of the dies are from Stylish Shapes, and the embellishments on these 3 cards show all 3 embellishments from the Charming Shimmering Faceted Dots. Okay, so I just fell in love with this product, and I want to say a special thanks to demonstrator Missy Shipman, who taught me how to create the Boxy pop-up card. I learned this as part of the Creative Stamping Collective, which is a group that I am in with Missy and 11 other demonstrators. And each month we feature a bundle, and we all create projects with it. So Missy created a Boxy pop-up card using the Charming Day, and I just loved it, and I love this. And since then, both Missy and I have been making tons of cards using this template. So I hope you're going to love it too. Before I go, let me just show you one of the other cards here. This is another one that didn't make the cut for my set. It does though show another version with a different Stylish Shape dies, a different layout featuring this flower here, and different DSP from the Charming Day, from the Floral Charm Designer Series paper. So you can get another look at that paper there. And then again, this one here. This one does use a sentiment from the Perfectly Pairs stamp set, but I just wanted to show you how pretty this image is from the Charming Day stamp set. And you can make just a beautiful card using coloring as well. And you could even combine the coloring and add in some of these pretty dies behind it. So lots and lots of versatility with this bundle. So I'm so glad that it is a part of my collection. I hope that you like this idea. Again, thanks to Missy, and thanks to all of you for watching today. I hope you have a happy and blessed day. Aloha.